Alright, I hope this thing's on. I'm gonna talk to you about the sandwich for like, I don't know, 5 minutes. Okay, so if you don't know what a sandwich is, a sandwich is a food typically consisting of vegetables, sliced cheese or meat, placed on or between slices of bread, or more generally any dish wherein two or more pieces of bread serve as a container or wrapper for another food type. The sandwich began as a portable finger food in the Western world. Through over time, it has become prevalent worldwide. The sandwich is considered to have been named after John Montagu, 4th Earl of the Sandwich, the inventor, and his claim of this food combination. The Wall Street Journal has described it as Britain's biggest contribution to gastronomy. Okay, so which is the history of the sandwich? I mean, I'm gonna post a video of how I make a really poor sandwich because I don't have any jam or things like that. I only have the goddamn bread. So, the sandwich can be traced over to the 18th century in Europe. However, the use of some kind of bread or bread-like substance to lie under, or used to scoop up and close or wrap some other type of food, and is found in numerous much other cultures worldwide. The ancient Jewish sage Hillel the Elder is said to have wrapped meat from the past shalom and bitter herbs between two pieces of old-fashioned soft matcha flat during the Passover in the manner of a modern wrap made with flatbread. Flatbreads of only slightly varying kinds have been long being used to scoop or wrap small amounts of food en route from platter to mouth through Western Asia and Northern Africa, from Morocco to Ethiopia to India. Bread is baked in flat rounds, contrasting with the European loaf tradition. During the Middle Age in Europe, thick slabs of coarse and usually slaked bread, called trenchers, were used. After a meal, the food-soaked trencher was fed to a dog or to beggars at the tables of the wealthy and eaten by diners in more modest circumstances. The immediate culinary precursor, with a direct connection to the English sandwich, was to be found in the Netherlands of the 17th century, where the naturalist John Ray observed that in the taverns beef hung from the rafters, which they cut into thin slices and knead with bread and butter, laying the slices upon the butter. Explanatory specifications that revealed the Dutch open-faced sandwich was yet an unfamiliar in England. Initially perceived as food that men shared while gaming and drinking at night, the sandwich slowly began appearing in polite society as a late-night meal among the aristocracy. The sandwich popularity in Spain and England increased dramatically during the 19th century, when the rise of industrial society and the working classes made fast, portable, and inexpensive meals essential. In London, for example, at least 70 street vendors were selling ham sandwiches by 1850. During that decade, sandwich bars also became an important form of eating establishment in Western Holland, typically serving liver and salt beef sandwiches. At the same time that the European-style sandwich finally began to appear outside of Europe, in the United States, the sandwich was first promoted as an elaborate meal at supper. By the early 20th century, as bread became a staple of the American diet, the sandwich became the same kind of popular quick meal as was already widespread in the Mediterranean. So as we can clearly see in the images, the sandwich is really important. It has a lot of varieties, and it's actually really, I don't really like sandwiches. I hate sandwiches.